Now these are the verses from 12 to 20, and they all denote the readiness for the war. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinatya uchchai Sankham dadmau pratapavan tatas sankascha veryascha panavanaka gomukha sahasa eva abhyahanyantasa sabda tumulu abhavat tatas svetai hayai yukte mahati syandane stitau madhavah pandavaschaiva divyau sankhau pradatmatuhu panchajanyam hrushikesa devadattam dhananjayah paundram dadmau mahasankham bhimakarma vrukodaraha. The aged Kuru, the glorious grandsire Bhishma, gave a loud roar like a lion and blew his conch, gladdening the heart of Duryodhana. Then quite suddenly, conches, horns, kettle drums, tabors and drums blared forth, and the sound was tumultuous. Then, seated in a great chariot, yoked to white horses, Madhava, Lord Krishna, and the son of Pandu, Arjuna, also blew their glorious conches. Rishikesha, Lord Krishna, blew Panchajanya. Dhananjaya, Arjuna, blew Devadatta. Bhima, of powerful deeds, blew his great conch, Poundra. Now we will come to the essence of what Maharshi is saying. When Bhishma blew his conch and gave a loud roar, everyone on Duryodhana's side felt very encouraged and showed their readiness to fight. The Almighty Nature ensures great flexibility for the growth of good or evil in the atmosphere. But when an influence grows beyond elastic limits, that means beyond its limits, general limits, then nature will no longer sustain it, and suddenly the breaking point is reached. All wars in history have resulted from the cumulative effect of aggression on the innocent individuals. In general, the individuals continue to oppress others, not knowing that aggression is growing in the atmosphere. And eventually what happens? It breaks upon them as their own disaster. One reaps the consequences of one's own actions. The tumultuous noise produced by the roar of Bhishma and the whole army symbolizes the great cry of nature announcing the breaking point of this immeasurable evil that Duryodhana and his supporters had accumulated for themselves. Then, seated in the great chariot, yoked to white horses, Madhava and the son of Pandu also blew their glorious conches. Here, this verse shows a special significance. The Pandavas are not taking the lead in the battle, but are only responding to the Kauravas' actions. Pandavas are dharmic people. They are righteous. They are never aggressive. The dharmic people in general only respond when they are challenged. They are only playing their role as instruments of the divine plan. When they have received the signal from the other side, they are obliged to answer it. and when they do answer, their reply is more powerful because it has the power of dharma behind it. Here we are using the word dharma, which represent righteousness, duty, responsibility, and the natural law. The word chariot has a special metaphysical connotation here. It represents the body, and the body as a vehicle for the natural process of evolution. The senses are the horses to which the body is yoked. White horses symbolizes sattva or purity, and so it is the chariot that is driven under the influence of purity or dharma. Lord Krishna symbolizes the self, and the chariot he drives must be yoked to white horses. With Lord Krishna as the self guiding the chariot, it moves to safeguard and protect the purity and righteousness. Here, Madhava means Lord of Fortune and also slayer of the demon Madhu. It indicates that he will prove to be the Lord of Fortune to those who are supporting dharma, and the slayer of demons to those who are promoting adharma. Lord Krishna here stands neutral between the two armies, and he is blowing his conch to proclaim that he is there for anyone to derive advantage from his presence. Now Rishikesha, Lord Krishna, blew his Panchajanya, and Dhananjaya blew Devadatta, and Bhima, he blew the great conch Poundra. Panchajanya is the conch made from the bone of the demon Panchajana, and here Lord Krishna's name Rishikesha has two meanings. One means he is the Lord of the senses, and the other is he is also with long hair. Long hair has to do with control of the senses, and here in the battlefield it also indicates the inner strength of the charioteer, who, being the Lord of the senses, can control any situation and the whole situation. The Lord of the senses blowing the signal for war through the demon's conch has a further meaning. It indicates that Lord Krishna created a powerful demonic force against the devilish Kauravas. Dharma is always positive, it is always creative and constructive, and it cannot destroy. Since the destruction is brought about only by the negative forces and not by people who are the dharmic, so it would have been hard for the Pandavas to destroy the Kauravas without Lord Krishna. And what did Lord Krishna do? Through the sound of Panchajanya, he excited the negative powers in all those present in both armies. And this excitement of the negative forces in the Pandava army gave that army much more power to destroy evil because of the support from the great power of righteousness. The excitement created among the negative forces in the Kaurava army did not have this support of the dharma or the positive force. It got so over-concentrated and it hastened the destruction, their own destruction. There is yet another meaning, another implication. Here Krishna is declaring through his Panchajanya that Pandavas are responding to the war. They are only responding to the war and they really did not initiate the war. Pandavas had suffered for many long years under the Kauravas' oppression, and the sound of Panchajanya is also conveying that pain and iniquities which the Pandavas had suffered. The Lord of the senses, Lord Krishna, is neutral here. He is ever established in his eternal state of being, while all things around him react to the prevailing atmosphere. His status transcends the highest righteousness, and the Kauravas were on the lowest level of consciousness. It was because of the great difference between Lord Krishna's status and the level of the Kauravas' consciousness that he promised at the beginning that he would not fight in the battle. Lord Krishna was revered both by the Kauravas and the Pandavas. He was approached for help at the same time, both by Arjuna and Duryodhana. When they both approached him, Lord Krishna said, "I will be on one side and my army will be on the other. But I shall not fight, though my army will. Now you decide between yourselves who would like to have me and who would like to have my army." The first choice was given to Duryodhana, who preferred to take the army. Lord Krishna thus came out to help Arjuna, but since he promised not to fight, he became Arjuna's charioteer and guided the destiny of the battle. Now Arjuna, who is also called Dhananjaya means the winner of wealth, and he blew his conch Devadatta. This conch was received by Arjuna from his divine father Indra. These are the verses 16 to 20. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kuntiputro Yudhishthara Sakula Sahadevascha Sughosha Manipushpakau Kasyascha Parameshvasah Sikandicha Maharataha Drushtadyumno Viratascha Satyakischa Parajitaha Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvasa Prithivipate Saubhadrascha Mahabahu Senkan Dadmuk Pruthak Pruthak Saghosho Dhartarashtranam Hrudayani Vyadarayat Nabascha Prudhivinchaiva Tumulo Vyanunadayan Adha Vyavasthitan Društva Dhartarashtran Kapidhvajaha Pravrutte Shastra Sampate Danu Udyamya Pandavaha Rishikesham Tada Vakyam Idam Aha Mahipate. Now Prince Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, he blew his conch, Anantavijaya. Nakula and Sahadeva blew their conches, Sughosha and Manipushpaka. Here Kunti is the mother of the 5 Pandavas, the sons of Pandu. Yudhishthira is the eldest of the 5 Pandavas. Nakula is the 4th. He is skilled in the art of training horses. And Sahadeva is the 5th and youngest, skilled in the management of cattle. Ananta Vijaya means eternal victory. Sughosha means sweet-toned. And Manipushpaka means gem-flowered. Then the king of Kashi, the great archer, and Shikandi, the Maharathi, Drishtadyumna, and Virata, and Satyaki, the unsubdued, they all blew their conches. Drupada, as well as the sons of Draupadi and the mighty armed son of Subhadra, they all blew their different conches. That tumultuous uproar, reverberating through earth and the sky, rent the hearts of Dhritarashtra's men. A cosmic process is revealed here. The Pandavas announced their readiness for war by the blowing of the conches, which thrilled the air and vibrated through everything in earth and sky. A great stir was created in the universe. The evil doings of the Kauravas had saturated the atmosphere, pervaded the whole environment with this evil influence. But when the Dharma gained its strength and it rose to accept the challenge, wave of life. So this is the cosmic process here where the Dharma has risen to destroy the Adharma. Then seeing the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn up in battle, and as missiles were about to fly, the son of Pandu, Arjuna, took up his bow. His banner bore the image of Hanuman. When Arjuna took up his bow, he expressed the readiness of righteousness to resist evil and restore the harmony on earth. His chariot had a sign which bore the image of Hanuman. Hanuman symbolizes devotion and service to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's life is dedicated to the divine cause. This is indeed the cosmic process. Whenever evil rises and threatens to destroy and overtake life, the nature moves to balance it. A wave of righteousness or dharma rises to neutralize the evil. Those who have borne suffering under the influence of evil, and they, by becoming the instrument of righteousness or dharma, they gain success and begin to enjoy. This is the cosmic process and the cosmic law that we will begin to see as we move into the knowledge further. This is the essence of these verses, the essence of Maharishi's commentary. And now I will add a few lines. The whole of Mahabharata war is Krishna's expression of the power of his responsibility, the responsibility for the whole cosmos, his responsibility for all the natural laws and for all of the creation. And this great responsibility is also referred to as his Ishvaratva, which is the innate responsibilism. Even though Krishna or his actions, they are not responsible for the war, even though he is not the reason for the war, but he takes the responsibility of others, the responsibility of others, adharma and irresponsibilities too, and he re-established dharma and he re-establishes the dharma, the cosmic law of responsibilism. This is his job as an incarnation. Here in Gita, as we go along, we will gain more knowledge of this responsibility, the duty, the highest dharma. Krishna leads the whole war with this one truth, with this one satya of being responsible and showing responsibility. The law of cosmos, the natural law of existence, which we also call it as dharma, is based on this responsibilism. All of the cosmic laws or the natural laws are all based on this responsibility, being responsible, being duty oriented. Krishna, as the incarnation, he guides the Pandavas, who are the 5 embodiments of Dharma. Lord Krishna takes upon himself the responsibility for everything happening and is to happen in this war. The decision to feel responsible for the whole cosmos is enlightenment. The decision to feel responsible for the whole cosmos is enlightenment. And feeling responsible for the whole and declaring to live by this feeling is responsible declaration. And in the Hindu spiritual practice, it is known as Nididhyasana. This level of responsibility as Nididhyasana will unlock the power of Prema Shakti in one. This is the immense power of divine love. Now, as a finality, let us just see if a person who does not feel responsible even for his own actions is not even a human. He lives in a very low level of consciousness, and Duryodhana, along with the Kaurava army, represents this low level consciousness. A person who feels responsible for his own actions is a human being. He lives in the middle level of consciousness. There were many warriors who felt responsible for their actions, their duties, and even supported Duryodhana. These represent this middle level consciousness. A person who takes responsibility even for others' actions is divine. He lives to be a true leader. And Sri Krishna is the leader of the universe, responsible for the whole cosmos. The Pandavas also rose to the occasion and who showed this responsibility, this high responsibility. As the consciousness expands, practicing the art of transcendence, then this feeling of responsibility also expands. Your leadership quality also expands because you are being more responsible, and naturally one gains more success and fulfillment. Since we are talking about enlightenment, so we will focus on raising the consciousness with the art of transcendence, expanding this consciousness, and through that expanding everything like the responsibility, the success, fulfillment, etc. This is the easiest way to gain the most in life, and we will continue. Jai Gurudev. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu.